Mr. President, Dr. Anat Rama, Chairperson of the AIT Board of Trustees, our Honorary Doctorate recipient, Mr. Masatsugu Asakawa, President of the Asian Development Bank, Your Excellencies, Trustees, honored guests, I declare this ceremony for the conferment of the Asian Institute of Technology Honorary Doctorate degree to Mr. Masatsugu Asakawa be now assembled. Mr. President, I am privileged to present Dr. Anat Rama, Chairperson of the AIT Board of Trustees and former Minister of Thailand and AIT Hall of Fame inductee, to present Mr. Masatsugu Asakawa for the conferment of the honorary degree of Doctor of Philosophy of the Asian Institute of Technology.
Mr. President, Your Excellencies, I have an honor of presenting to you Mr. Masatsugu Asakawa for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Honoris Causa of the Asian Institute of Technology. Mr. Masatsugu Asakawa, President of the Asian Development Bank, ADB, is being conferred with the Institute Doctor of Philosophy Special of my AIT Board of Trustees and recommendation of the Academic Senate of the Institute and for the technology development of the Asia-Pacific region. Under Mr. Asakawa leadership, ADB made significant contribution to the regions covering especially the 19 pandemic response and recover planning with a 20 billion US dollars comprehensive response package and 9 billion US dollars on Asian Pacific vaccine. Access facilities, Mr. Asakawa successfully repositioned ADB as an QMIS bank for Asia and the billion of new funding capacity over 10 years to address Asia-Pacific pressing needs to perpetuate level of the through mobile private capital, so capital for the trillions required for tackle the complicated crisis. President Asakawa also successfully led representment last month of 5 billion for ADB Asian Development Bank Fund, 14 which is ADB's largest source of grants for operations in its poorest and most vulnerable developing member countries. President Asakawa led several innovative finance approaches at ADB, including, number one, the Innovative Finance Faculty for Climate in Asia and the Pacific, or IFCAP. Second, the first ever regional green facilities, the Asian Catalytic Green Finance Facilities for ACGP. And the third, the energy transition mechanisms of ETM, all of which are working closely with countries, institutions, and projects to spur the Development Bank to commit to climate finance target, which have been elevated now to 100 billion cumulatively by 2030, as announced by President Asakawa in 2021. It is also encouraging to see a focus at niche and understand areas such as biodiversity, where President Asakawa launched the Nature Solutions Finance Hub at COP28 in Dubai last year, and also launching a gender and heat initiative, both first, and which recognize that women are most vulnerable to the increasing frequency and intensity of climate change-induced heat waves. Prior to joining ADB, he served as special advisor of Japanese Prime Minister and also Minister of Finance, and has a close 4 decades career at the Minister of Finance, with diverse professional experience that cut across domestic and international fronts in immediate aftermath of the original finance crisis. Mr. Asakawa, in his capacity as Executive Assistant to Prime Minister Toro, G20 leaders summit meeting in November 2008. He was instrumental in orchestrating a globally coordinated finance package to ABTA, the finance crisis, including a 100 billion loan from Japan to the Finance and International Affairs. He took on a leading role for the GSET Finance Ministry and Central Bank of Government meeting in Fukuoka in 2019 under the Japanese presidency. Mr. Asakawa professional experience extends beyond the realms of Japanese government. Most notably, he served as a chief advisor to the ADB President Kimimasa Tarumiso between 1989 and 1992, during which time he created a new office focused on strategic planning. Also, he had frequent engagement with the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development in such position as chair for Committee on Physical Affairs 2011 to 2016. Furthermore, he was a senior staff in Physical Affairs Department of IMF in 1911 to 1916. In the Economic Social Seminar University, 2006 and 2009. And at the Graduate School of Arts and Science, University of Tokyo, 2012-2015. Mr. Asakawa obtained his BA from University of Tokyo Economics Faculty and MPA from Princeton University, USA in 1985. ADB and AIT have worked on several areas like capacity building programs, research, knowledge, and innovation work with further strengthen the partnership between the two institutions and help countries in the region. Mr. Asakawa's extremely achievements and unwavering dedication to regional development mark him a highly deserving candidate for the AIT Honorary Doctorate degree. Mr. President, I have the honor, on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the members of community of faculty, staff, students, and alumni of the Asian Institute of Technology, to present Mr. Masatsugu Asakawa for the conferment of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Honoris Causa, on the 11th day of the June 2024. Thank you.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I confer upon Mr. Masatsugu Asakawa the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Honoris Causa.
At this point, may I request our Honorary Doctorate recipient, Dr. Asakawa, to give a remark.
Thank you. Chairman, Dr. Anat Abhavhimara, President Professor Kazuo Yamamoto, esteemed members of the AIT Board of Trustees, faculty members, students, and distinguished guests. It is my deep respect and humility that I stand before you today at the AIT, Asian Institute of Technology. This institution is not only a beacon of academic excellence, but a driver of sustainable development across Asia and the Pacific. I am deeply honored to receive this honorary doctorate degree from AIT. I sincerely appreciate your recognition and humbly accept the award. This degree is a symbol of the strong and lasting partnership between AIT and ADB. Our joint efforts in research, capacity building programs, and knowledge sharing have significantly advanced our shared goals. Together, we are using education and innovation to tackle the region's pressing development challenges. Throughout my tenure as ADB president, ADB has tackled significant challenges and launched key initiatives to improve lives and livelihood across Asia and the Pacific. I am especially proud of the rapid responses to the COVID-19 pandemic, deploying a $20 billion package to support immediate health responses and economic recovery. In addition, over the past 4 years, we have significantly boosted our operational capabilities and financial flexibility. We have introduced a new operating model for better, faster, and more tailored support to our members and implement capital management reforms to unlock up to $100 billion in new lending capacity for the next 10 years. The Asian Development Fund, ADF, remains our largest source of grants for the region's poorest and most vulnerable countries. As a sign of our donors' confidence, just last month, at the time of our annual meeting in Georgia, Tbilisi, we secured a $5 billion replenishment for this fund. We have also prioritized gender equality in our operations and significantly expanded investment in food security, health, and education to ensure that development is inclusive. And finally, recognizing that Asia and Pacific is the front line in the battle against climate change, ADB has stepped up as a regional climate bank and elevated our ambition in climate financing to $100 billion cumulatively from 2019 to 2030. Our climate finance commitment last year reached a record of $9.8 billion, and we have launched initiatives to mobilize funds for climate action and to introduce the so-called Energy Transition Mechanism, ETM, to retire coal-fired power plants early. One area of climate crisis that I consider to be critical and urgent danger is the staggering impact of heat stress. Last year was the warmest on record, and this year, 2024, continues to set unprecedented high temperatures. In Thailand alone, in the first 5 months of 2024, heat stroke deaths are already higher than in the whole of 2023. The need to address the issue of heat is clear. Heat stress is not just an environmental concern. It is a public health issue that affects millions across our region, threatening livelihoods, disrupting economies, contributing to inequality, and worsening food insecurity. Most alarming is the disproportionate impact it has on women, vulnerable groups such as the poor and elderly, and workers exposed to heat. We have all experienced the impact of heat, but let's take a moment to imagine the consequences to children unable to study in their schools because classrooms are too hot or they are unable to sleep at home because of heat. These setbacks to their education will hurt all our societies. And imagine the lives of women facing heat stress. Due to social norms, they may be unable to find shade or wear lighter clothing. When their families become ill from heat, the burdens of care falls on them. If women is pregnant, the risk of miscarriage or stillbirth will increase. And imagine construction workers toiling for long hours in the hot sun, sacrificing their health to build needed infrastructure in our developing member countries. Our informal workers who cannot afford access to cooling, earning less because the heat reduces their productivity. All these examples should remind us of the need to elevate heat action to the top of the development agenda. Last year, at COP28, I launched an initiative to strengthen resilience against heat stress, focusing on measures that support those most at risk. The initiatives will invest in adaptation measures to overcome the impact of heat stress on women and girls across Asia and the Pacific. Our efforts are collaborative. ADB will work closely with governments, local communities, and international partners to develop environmentally sustainable and socially equitable cooling solutions. I would be much pleased to have AIT join us in this critical endeavor. My friends, the path before us is laden with challenges, but also full of opportunities to effect meaningful change. Our partnership with AIT exemplifies the power of collaboration in addressing the formidable issues facing our region. Together, we can lead initiatives that not only respond to immediate crises, but also prepare us for future challenges. I am deeply grateful for this prestigious honor and the opportunity to discuss our shared challenges and opportunities. Let us continue to work with dedication, driving towards the shared vision of a prosperous, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable Asia and Pacific. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Dr. Asakawa. May I now request the President of the Institute, Professor Kazuo Yamamoto, to deliver a message.
Excellencies, distinguished guests, AIT community members, I'd like to extend my deepest thanks to all of you for joining us on this very special occasion. On behalf of Asian Institute of Technology, I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to Mr. Masatsugu Asakawa, President of Asian Development Bank, for honoring us with his esteemed presence. His unwavering support and commitment to fostering development in Asia-Pacific region have been truly inspirational. It is indeed a great honor for AIT to confer upon him the Institute's Honorary Doctorate degree, Doctor of Philosophy Honoris Causa. I wish to also take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to AIT Board of Trustees for their strong support. This degree is a testament to his exceptional contribution to the economic, social, and technological development of our region. We are also deeply grateful for his insightful remarks to the gathering. I would also like to extend my profound gratitude to all the stakeholders, faculty, members, staff, and students of AIT for your unwavering dedication and support. After the ceremony, we have a reception at AIT Conference Center dining room, to which you are all cordially invited. We also have exhibit on display in our lobby, highlighting some of AIT's collaboration in various forms with ADB, as well as with other partners. There is also an ADB booth with their exhibits highlighting their work in the region. ADB and AIT both share the common word Asia. Our institute is aligned with ADB in the belief that prosperity, resilience, and sustainability are written graphs in Asia Pacific. And we remain thankful for its continued support to AIT for institutional and human resources developments in the region. We look forward to and remain committed to further collaboration with ADB in the years to come. Once again, thank you to everyone for your presence and participation in this celebration. Your collective efforts and contributions are instrumental in driving the mission of AIT forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this juncture, may I invite the presidential party on the stage to rise for a group photo. The Assembly is now asked to rise and remain standing until the presidential party and the guests have left the hall. That concludes the special ceremony for the conferment of the AIT Honorary Doctorate degree to Dr. Masatsugu Asakawa, President of the Asian Development Bank. Thank you.